All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sincere apologies for the breaking transmission, but we are live, we are back, and we are good. And like we said, I'd like to encourage us to share the link and let's have as many people as possible join in. Okay, let's do well to share the link and have as many people joining on the conversation. Of course, this remains your favorite podcast show, Trends. And in case you're a first-time viewer, right, we say big welcome to you. Welcome to the live broadcast of Trends. There are a few things that we've been wanting to, we're going to talk about today. One of the things is that I shared earlier how that we've been getting a lot of positive responses for the the dilemma section. So a lot of people have been sending in questions that borders around different areas of their life. But of course, there's always the premium on relationship. It's like everybody always have relationship questions to ask, right? So, but we're going to be diving into two dilemma questions. But before we get there, there's a video we're going to play. The idea of today's, or the topic of today's conversation is centered around standards as Christians, especially in relationship and marriage. How far is too far with standards? Should Christians have standards? So there's been a video that has been making rounds, it's been trending lately. People have been sharing it and all. And a lot of people have had different perspectives to it. A lot of people do not agree with the person's take on that subject, and some people agree. Some people are silent, but they silently agree.
Yes.
Right? So we're going to play that video in a moment of time, and I can't wait to get back and then share our thoughts on it. But before we go, I want to give big shout outs to Khadijat. Welcome, Khadijat, Mr. Upgrade. Yes, we are back. We are back and we are live. So I made an appeal before we went off briefly. We want to get this show to 1,000 views today. So I need you, those of us online, all you need to do is to copy the link and share the link on your social media platforms. Tell with the word of mouth, have at least 10 people joining. I want us to have as many people as possible online because they're guaranteed to have the time of their lives. All right, so in a moment of time, media, we're going to be turning over to you to play that video, and we'll be back, the video of the lady, and we'll be back shortly to give our commentaries. All right, over to you.
See, please, if you're not serving in a department in your church, or you're not serving as a steward anywhere, you can't marry me. If you don't believe in tithing as a man, I don't believe I'm your wife. I know some of you come and rant under my comment section, but be careful. They don't talk anyhow under my comment section. Do you understand? See, I've majored on what should major in my life. Ladies, I'm telling you this so that the first thing you are looking out for, because that's why most of you are in wrong marriages. That's why most of you are in wrong relationship. They are beating you and buying you both straight. And they are beating you anyhow. See, there's what we call accountability. If I marry you as a man, your name of church, why are you serving? I will go and ask in your church, even why you tell me.
Okay. So this video has been making rounds. I'm sure some of you have seen it. But before I even share my thoughts, those of us watching, please just get into the comment section. Let me know what you think about it. Do you agree with what she said? Do you disagree? And why? What is your standpoint? Why do you disagree if you disagree, and why do you agree if you do? The therapeutic nurse 01 says my reaction exactly. So why? I have a lot of things to say, right? If I let me start, let me put it on the spot.
Oh my.
So what do you think? When you saw that video, what was your first reaction?
She's saying the truth. Number one, the first thing I noticed.
So you agree?
I agree with her point of view.
Okay.
She's talking about what she wants as a person. She's not making it as a standard that for any Christian lady that wants to go into a relationship, you must not marry a man that does not pay tithe or that is not a steward in church. She's saying as herself that you can't marry her if you are not a steward or if you don't pay tithe. So we are all entitled to our personal
opinions.
exactly.
Okay.
So
So someone says, Charles Ede says, accountability and standard
Thank
is
you.
what she's indirectly referring to, and it's true. So I think, because having gone through, I combed it read really viral. I think
very in
the
fact,
likes of Tunde Enoch,
yes,
Yaba Levs and all those, they carried this video.
Yes.
So one of the things I observed when I went through the comment section is of course you see, if you don't have that conversation was nasty, right? Because people are not many people are fine, right?
Yeah.
Right, so I saw a lot of crazy stuff in the comment section, but what I observed is that really nobody had anything to fault. They were just being cynical.
Yes.
They couldn't really fault anything she was saying, especially with scriptural standards, because we are in a day and age where certain things should not be weird, but they are weird. However, I believe that the extent. So now the question is, standards in the Christian faith. How far is too far? Should we have standards? Of course, definitely,
yes.
Just like Charles said, accountability and standards is what she's indirectly referring to.
And
you cannot take away accountability and certain standards and intend to have a godly, good, peaceful marriage, right? Because those are the filters with which you know who is and who is not. And like you said, secondly, this is a person giving her own decision. This is her own. She said she's not saying anybody that marries anybody that does not pay tithe who's going to hell or is doomed. She says, for me, if you don't pay tithe and you're not active in any department,
you can't marry me.
I'm not your wife. Right? And so what she's trying to say is that for certain reasons best known to her,
yes,
these are the standards and these are the criteria. These are the criteria that the person I'm going to be with must possess. However, looking at it generally, in the general context now, should a person pay tithe? Paying of tithe, is it realistic to know whether or not this person is going to be your life partner?
No. And I feel this is another thing I was thinking about, because it seems people are trying to move the goalpost. Now they are going about it like the fact that he pays tithe or that is a steward does not mean he's a good man, because there are people that pay tithe and they are horrible people. But that's not what she's talking about. That's not what she's saying. What she's saying that, of course, this person will be like, there are other standards that I will look out for in this person, but this is the topic I want to talk about right now, is the paying of tithe and also being a steward, in sense of being accountable, like this person said. So it should,
it's a no-brainer.
Exactly.
so I think what would have caused this whole conundrum is the fact that she said, if you're not paying tithe, so it makes it look like you have made these things not the standard, in the sense like that once somebody has this criteria,
cut-off mark.
Yes, once someone has this criteria, this person is infallible. Whereas we have seen cases of even pastors, tithe paying, tongue speaking, Holy Ghost, Holy Ghost filled, that end up beating up their wives, cheating. Even in worst cases, even unaliving the person, right? So we have seen. So is that frustration that people
are
bring
speaking
into
from,
and say, okay, why put these standards as the yardstick, right?
But it's also a standard. It might not be the only standard, but it's a standard for her. It's like another person saying, I can't marry a short man. That's not the
stray bullets just hit some people. Moving on.
That's not that's not the only thing. It's talking about it is limited in like, it's not a reason, it's not a good enough reason for you to use as a yardstick. But that means you also look at every other thing that the person is he a God-fearing man? Does he go to church? Is he a provider? Is he caring? Is he someone that can say sorry? Is he stubborn? Like, is he someone that is going to cheat and all of that? So you just saying that one, and then it also depends on the conversation that is going on. So there's a point she's trying to make. She has a series of videos that she has been doing talking about ladies. I know I saw another video where she was like, if you are 30 and you are not married, like, there's nothing wrong with you, it's fine and all of that. So she has a series of videos that she's doing. She's not making it a standard. She's just saying,
Yvette is here to do defense. Voltron, defender of the universe today. but I get you. I actually do get you. And I think that mostly like I said earlier, when I went through the comment section, what I saw was just cynicism. There was no real, there was nobody bringing and saying, okay, scripturally what you're saying is wrong. Because there is absolutely nothing wrong what you say. However, there might, the extent to which you said it, for example, should there be boundaries, should there be structures, and should there be standards? Yes. Should this person be born again? Yes. Like, I've always said this. There are certain things that are not right, but they are not in themselves red flags. In other words, I'm trying to say that they can be red flags, but they are not always red flags. For example, someone that doesn't pay tithe, right, probably grew up in an assembly that doesn't pay tithe, probably grew up in an environment that did not teach him teach him accurately what tithing is, right? He did not have the opportunity to know about tithing like you did. And you meet that person and you're talking with the person and you ask him, do you pay tithe? However, that person has the propensity, when taught to, has the brokenness, has the teachability to, when taught, adopt it. When you meet such a person and your first conversation, your, how do you call it, your talking stage, the first conversation, you guys, when I say, do you pay tithe? You say no, you say, king, for life.
But wait, another thing I'm thinking is, looking at what you said now, let's say the person is from a church where they are not taught the importance of tithe or what tithe entails and all of that. That is also speaking to other things, because the same way they are not being taught about tithe, there might be other things that are important. They are also not being taught about. You know, we have plenty churches at around now that what they are talking about is not the gospel. So if you are in a church where they don't talk about tithe, then there's a possibility that they don't talk about other things. You know, there are churches that it's not bad. That it's not bad for you to marry 2 wives.
No,
that you can sing. You know, there are some. What about once saved, forever saved?
Okay.
You know, there are some people like that.
So what my point here is this, right? This person this person is trying to say that she is I was trying to make an hypothetical situation.
Yeah,
right?
I understand.
So you meet someone and he says he doesn't pay tithe. But the reason why he doesn't pay tithe is because he grew up, all his life he has been in that place. Now probably for some reason he's now getting to know I mean, he can stumble on teachings online. He can now hear, probably has even joined a new church, but he's just hearing the concept of tithing for the first time. And you guys get to talking and you find out that he's not a tither, or he's not in a department because it's not something that they make a big deal where he's coming from. Or, okay, take for example, someone is not in a department for a reason like his job. He travels, and that does not make him stable, right? Whereas, but this person is a good Christian, is a believer. This person loves God. This person, he actually probably even has a ministry. He loves God genuinely, more than anybody. He not more than, but he shall love God. You know what I'm saying? But for some reasons like him not having the time because of the nature of the job, or the nature of whatever it is, maybe even a health challenge that wouldn't help him, allow him serve. I'm just saying, right? Now, does that also mean that this person automatically is disqualified because? So I'm saying that it is true, but the context to which this is, because there are always exceptions. So you speak with this person, and I'm not in a department. I don't also have any department in my church. Okay, why? And he says, no, I don't have to. I don't believe in it. Now that's a red flag. That's okay. Why don't you believe in it? You know, I don't. All these pastors, all these churches, and you know that okay, there's a problem here. Sometimes it's not even still a red flag in itself. Sometimes if you investigate further, it could be speaking out of church hurt, and he just needs to be helped. You probably have had an experience in the past that has made him to quit any service and all that, and now God is bringing you, and through you and not through other things.
But it won't be relationship first.
Whatever. I don't know.
It's a relationship
but
first.
What I'm saying is that sometimes we are very quick to call red flags. Red flag. I want us to jump into the comment because I've seen a very interesting comment. Right?
Okay.
But before that, Margaret Gashi says she sounds like Madam Ascend in The Willows. She's right on all grounds, and that's her standard.
Yes, very important.
The person must also fear God and be a child of God. I also agree.
Yes.
Mr. Upgrade says Ife the defender. So we have Ochigbe Oleju Kate, and yes, she's the person in the video that we spoke about. I don't reach Ambience TV. Yes, welcome aboard. we couldn't wait to jump on it, and let me say this, that we celebrate your courage to speak truth. Of course, it's your standard. People might have diverse views.
It's your own personal view.
It's your own view. Own it. If this is what God has revealed to you, if these are the standards God has told you, there are certain people, for example, if God has told you that you're going to get married to this kind of a person, right, and something close to that person is coming that is not what God told you, right? You should have the patience to wait, even if it looks like you are waiting in vain or you are waiting too long. You should have the patience to wait, trusting God that this kind of person you told me is coming. But you should try to be sure that it's God that told you.
Yeah.
So big shout out to you, Ochigbe. Therapeutic Nurse says her standards are too hard, in my opinion. No one is actually perfect. Give people room to breathe around you. Please be flexible, not necessarily breaking good standards. I feel every aboki with his kettle, right? Everybody knows what works for them. Like we earlier stated, if it's too hard, that's why it has standards. She's not making it a
and
doctrine.
is it actually too hard?
We live in a sensitive generation.
That's a common thing for any Christian. Exactly. It's understandable, like you said, maybe because of your job or because of your health. You can, even then, you might not be a steward. The point of being a steward is being accountable. People knowing you in church. There are people that you can go to for reference, that this person came to meet me. Yes. What can you say about him? Yes. So even if because of his job he does not have the opportunity to be a steward, it should still be known in church. It should still have a rapport with, I think what should be the standard might not should still have a rapport with the resident pastor, that if any question is coming up, they can stand for him, they can vouch for him, that I know this person, this is the standard of this person.
And I think this now brings us to the need for every believer to be rooted in a local assembly.
Yes.
Whether or not you serve actively in a department, for whatever reason it is, you should be rooted in a local assembly. What's rooted? Being rooted is not just that you're attending.
They must know you.
Know and be known, right? In the sense that in fact that's the whole idea of what department is. Not just to come and labor in service, it's part of it, but also is to create that sense of family, community, where you can be accountable, you can be accounted for, and you are known and right? You have people you can reach out to. Whereas as opposed to you just coming in and going out and nobody can tell you. In fact, you go and do something tomorrow and say you're looking for someone to stand in for you, but we don't know you. You have pictures that you were in church, but we don't know you, bro. So you see, that's the need. That's why I always advocate that believers must be rooted in a local assembly.
Church is not just about attendance. It's a family.
Yes.
That's why God said he sets the solitary in family. The family is talking about, it might be the nuclear one, but it's also the family of faith. You see people, when you are going through a lot, you have people you can walk up to, that this is what I'm going through, and they encourage you, even in terms of finance. For example, in church last Sunday, one of the testifiers spoke about how much the church has been helping her in aspects like finances, and then God showing up for her. So that is what church is about. And I think the reason there's an issue around this is because people have lost the essence of what church is really about. They've made it about attendance, about pastors stealing money, about now it's now seeming as if like it's an archaic mindset. If you are like, I want a man that is devoted to a church, that is accountable in church. So and then they will now gaslight you to thinking that you are wrong for having that standard.
Sure. And let me just say this to Kate. I'm sure she's still in the comments here. Don't allow anybody gaslight you into dropping your standards. However, people might have a slightly lesser demand for their own destiny. But hold on to what God has told you, right? Just hold on to it. So on that note, since we are talking about standards and expectations and all of those things, I want us to we're going to play the video of one of the episodes, one of the sessions we had on the Father's Day special, and I want us to just chip in on it a bit. We're going to play that excerpt very shortly. Just stay tuned to see that excerpt. I saw that excerpt and I was stuck on it for a bit because it just dawned on me that there's a lot that are unsaid. In fact, it's not even just that we do the things that we do, it's the fact that a lot of it is unsaid and many times unsung. Men are usually a lot of unsung heroes, right? And sometimes it's in their death that they get celebrated. So I want us to play that video, and then we'll be back very, very shortly. It's just about a 30 seconds, 40 seconds video. So whilst we're playing that video, do well to share the link and have many people join in. Thank you guys for inviting your friends. We can have as many more people joining as possible. All right, media, over to you in a moment of time.
The life of a man is sacrificial. Take it anywhere.
That's deep.
The life of a man is grossly sacrificial.
That's deep.
So it's difficult to live for yourself. In fact, I remember one of those days when I was having my premarital counseling. One advice stood out for me. You know, he looked me in the eyes and said that he would always advise any man who is about to get married to, first of all, before you get married, he said, go and buy clothes, because once you're married,
No more.
And the truth of the matter is, before you see me buy anything new, it's my babe that is getting it for me now. Like, it's difficult for me to take out money. It's not like I don't have it, but before I want to do one or two things, I would have to think about every other household need. You understand?
Yeah.
So
Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you see, I saw that. Let me just say this: you need to see the full thing. You really, really need to see the full thing. And I'll just say, if you're yet to follow, subscribe to this channel, please subscribe. That video has been uploaded. You can just search for it, Father's Day special. A lot of truths were shared with so much light, and you could see the vulnerability. And not many times you see men come out in places to talk about the things that men have to go through, not in a complaining way, but just in a way to, you know, to note that this is what we do, this is what we are.
Even though we don't talk about it, it's still a lot.
So when I saw that video, you know, I felt seen, I felt heard. I felt like, oh, this is something that is not often said, but we need to say it. And the life of a man is mad with a lot of sacrifices, and we proudly do it. And I'm not saying this for pity party. We didn't have that session. Men, we are not here for pity party. We own it. That's what God created us for, the strength and the grit. But every now and again, you need a safe space to vent. Not vent, but to say these things as they are. So big shout out to the men. And if you're yet to see that episode, just look for it. It's called the Father's Day special.
Yes.
You would see, and you would have an amazing, you would get to join that amazing conversation. It was super, super amazing. So Ife,
Yes.
we are moving into the session I love so much, dilemma. Now, for those of us that are first time watchers, I'd like to give you a big shout out. If it's not too much to ask, if you can just drop a hi, we'd like to know your name and just give you a special shout out even before we get to the dilemma section. Now, in this dilemma section, what we do basically is that people like you and myself in the comment section watching gets to send us questions that they have, maybe for real-time experiences that they are going through. Maybe you are having a dilemma around your relationship, business, finance, your spiritual life, whatever it is. You have a question, you need something, you need clarity on, you can share with us, and as God helps, we bring clarity, we bring perspective, and we get to share. All right, I can see Gladys Ayinla in the comment section saying hi. Hello to you, Gladys. Big shout out. Thank you for joining in. And as many people, I'll be here to give you your shout outs once you drop a hi, right? So I'll be handing over to Ife to give us today's. So apparently today we have two dilemma, and that's so beautiful. It means that we are getting the attention as we want. So Ife,
yes, okay.
For us today?
So we have two questions, like you said, but before I read it, I want to remind us also that if you have anything you are going through, if you have any questions that you want us to attend to, and also people in the comment to weigh in on, you can send it to I believe in the description there's a number there. You can send it there or later, but it will be in the description. You can also check us out on Instagram.
Yes.
TV redefined.
Yes.
So check us out.
Before we go forward, I want to give, I promise, shout outs to these guys. Save to Ace, I see you. Big shout out to you. Omotola Kolade Omoti. Big shout out to you. Hello, right back. Thank you for joining the show. All right.
We have another person, Overcomer Emieto.
Hello.
Welcome.
Overcomer. Big shout out.
Yeah. Okay, so the question, the first one, Trent, please help me. I'm stuck. I'm stuck in a job that pays the bills but drains my soul. I want to chase my passion and maybe start a side hustle, but I'm scared of failing and losing financial stability. Please advise me.
You know
That's a
this
serious
person
one.
was just speaking, and I could just hear Apostle's voice in the background. This person. So I would say this, right? See, the truth is, everybody gets to that point in life when you're about to break even. There's that point of restlessness.
Yeah, you just
And
get tired
yes,
of
that
the
restlessness
norm.
is a blessing. The Bible calls it, I call it the blessing of hunger. Blessed are they that hunger and thirst.
Yeah,
That,
they will be
in that
filled.
context, right? But there's this restlessness that comes upon a person. It was Isaac that told Esau, he said, in the day that you are restless, you will break the yoke of your brother Jacob from your neck.
Yeah.
Right? And what that meant was that restlessness is the cure for stagnation. Restlessness is the cure for mediocrity. So when birth pangs of destiny begins to come upon you and you begin to feel that restlessness, don't discard it. God is actually, you are in your birthing season. Now I will just say this because I've also seen how that people without wisdom, it's through wisdom that a house is builded, right? So without wisdom, if you don't build wisdom, you would build and it will crumble, and you would spend your life defending what you have built that has crumbled. And in fact, you even at the end of the day, you curse God and die. Right? So I would say this: number one, when it comes to matters of finances, there is a season in your life where you might need to do what pays the bill, even though it is not your passion. There is a season of your life. A season now comes where you need to break even. The two questions you need to ask yourself: number one, this thing I call a passion, is it lucrative? Because the truth is that there are bills. In fact, I've said this time without number that one of the major reasons why people leave their purpose in life is what I call the rat race. The moment you get caught up in the rat race, the scourge of survival, you forget what God has called you to do. You just want to survive. All about right? So every now and again, the pangs of the pangs of destiny will come pressing on your spirit, and it will remind you, this might not be what God has called you to do. Not everybody is in this category. There's some people that are doing what God has called them to do, even if it's a 9 to 5, right? But there are people that God has called you. If God has called you as a pioneer, if God has called you as a creative to step out and do something unusual, out of the norm, to step up, to innovate, to do something that is chart a course that is uncharted before. Now it means that you will not know peace and fulfillment until you step out. Now I say this, if you are within the age of 25 to 30, you are no longer at the stage where you can gamble certain things. If you are going to leave your job or a paying job 9 to 5 to go and start something, bro, you have to be sure. You have to be
doubly sure,
101% sure that this is what God will have you do, and you have to be sure that you are taking a one-way ticket. You see, if you happen to be on Apostles Mentorship platform, and let me just do cheap publicity, right? Right. The current one is about to wrap up. If you're not there, I can beg you, please register for the next one. The stuff we receive on that platform is mind-blowing. And I remember one of those days Apostle was teaching us, and he was talking about one-way tickets, one-way traffic. He said your destiny should be a one-way. In other words, I can only succeed. It's either I succeed or I succeed. There are no in between. It's not like if I don't succeed, maybe I'll fall back to this.
Yes,
and that's the reason why a lot of people break even. The reason why we are careful in telling people, if God has told you step out, is because sometimes people don't have the strength of character to see visions through. Now, if you tell someone like that, resign and get into it, halfway through the vision, the person lacks the character to stay in it. So the person would fail, because part of a vision is failing. Part of getting the things done is that you get it wrong many times. So when he gets to that point where things are not working, he doesn't have the perseverance to see it through. So the person believes he has failed, and he comes back and tells you, now you give me advice. Now you tell me aspire to perspire. And now they are trying to drag you. So that's why I'm being careful. But I would say, if you have the strength of character to see a vision through, and God has laid it upon your heart and said, this is what I have you do with your destiny, and you know that this is the Kairos moment for it, step out. agree within your heart, come to terms with the fact that this is a one-way ticket. There is no in-betweens. There's no going back. I've booked this ticket, is there or there. When you step out like that, if it's a passion that, see, and I've said this, I know that there's a place of lucrative passions. Not all passions are lucrative. You get what you're going to do now, you will not make money. But if you do it well enough, I've seen people, I mean, from flimsy things like playing PES, playing games. People are billionaires from playing games. Passion. It did not start out as a career. It started as just passion. In fact, I'm sure the mom would have probably dragged him. You know, I can imagine, right? But not everybody would make money from playing games. From people's life are being destroyed from playing that same game.
Yeah.
Do you see the dilemma now, the irony of it? So my advice to this person will be, number one, if God is the one prompting you to do this thing, do you have the strength of character? Look at your track record. Do you have the strength of character to be able to see a vision through to the end? Then number two, have a mentor, someone that is doing what you're doing. You cannot start, except even if God is calling you as a pioneer, you know, to blaze a trail, to start what nobody has done. They will always be referenced, maybe not directly to what you've done, but within that field. So if someone cannot come and tell me now that his passion now is to, give one very funny example, is to just chill or just I don't know
soft life.
You know, soft life, and that's your passion. No, that's not a passion. What is the impact of your passion? How is it becoming better? How is it bettering humanity? If there's any word like that, how is it making humanity better?
Benefit to the,
because the law of finance states that once you give value, you get money. Money is not handout. Money is exchange. It's
an value. Exchange. Yes.
So if your passion is a value you are bringing to the table, how will that be converted into finance? Once that is sorted, you are good to go. Once that is sorted, you're good to go.
I like that. The only addition I will make is, number one, this person didn't clarify, so we are not aware of their age. We don't know if you are married or if you are single, or if you have people. Majorly, what I'm trying to say is if you have people dependent on you. So if that is a factor, you also have to consider that. Of course, you can't live your life for someone else. You can't put your life on a hold just because you want to take care of other people. As much as we preach being merciful, taking care of people, you can't do it at the detriment of your own well-being. So, but if you have people dependent on you, especially a spouse or children, what you should do is, if you are planning to leave the job, you have to carry them along. It's not just a decision that you just wake up and say, babe or Neil or whatever, I'm quitting my job by the end of this month, I want to start this thing. You have to sort yourself. So you have to carry them along, deliberate together. Another thing is, if you have someone else, is there another source of income that you can depend on while you are building your own dream, while you are building your own passion? And then this passion that you have, is it something you can do? Because life is easy now. There are many people with 9-to-5 jobs and they are still doing other stuff. In fact, they are doing like 3 other side jobs that is bringing them money on a steady. So the passion you have, is it something you can do with the current job you are doing? And also, is it something, the job you are doing, if it pays so well, is there a way you can save up to a level that you know that for the next 6 months or for the next 1 year you are still covered while you are trying to build up your passion, your dream and everything? So what I would say is just consider all aspects. The most important, talk to the people around you. They will have the best advice. And most important, pray about it. Pray about it. Let's if God is the one sending you out, in fact, you can quit your job right now without without any rainy day thing, and know that God will have you covered. So
I will just also wanted to add this for perspective's sake, right? At the end of the day, strength of character is what matters, is what determines how far a person will go in life. Right? You can hear all the nice things. In fact, God can speak to you. God can even tell you that this is how far I want to take you. But the strength of character that you have built is what will determine how well you will do, how far you will go, how much of that vision you will attain. So the reason why we get skeptical with giving advice like this that concerns people's destiny is because we don't even know this person's track record. We don't know if this person has learned this strength of character to see things through. You know, if this person has not learned it, then stay in that 9 to 5, stay there and learn. In fact, sometimes God allows us to, in a season of our life, get to do certain kind of things so that we will learn how things are run. In a 9 to 5, nobody sends you. You have to just deliver what is given to you. Nobody sends that
you don't deliver, you're not paid.
You're having a bad day or you slept on the wrong side of the bed. Bro, you have this task to deliver. Right? So if you learn that discipline from the 9 to 5 and now you want to bring it to your own organization, if you can import that same discipline, you will see that you get the result. So my what do you call it? My counsel for that person will be do the needful.
Yeah.
But just be sure that you have the strength of character to see you through, and be sure that God has led you in that path. Truly, fulfillment comes only when you're doing what God has called you to do. If you want to feel that satisfaction of fulfillment, it can only come in the place of being in the center of God's will and doing exactly what God has called you to do. So that would be my...
And also, like what you said on the track record, there's something Apostle will say is that what they commit into your hand must not die. So what's your track record? You have a track record of things dying in your hand. Have you ever started a project that
But then the balance to this is that is in your track record does not mean you cannot do better. Because somehow
it can be a stimulant, like you see that you are not doing well, and it will give you the tenacity that this one must not die. But it comes with awareness. You have to become aware that I have this track record. Why? What's the reason? Is it that I keep going into things that I don't really have interest in, and I'm just following the craze? This is what is moving now, or is it that I did not plan it very well?
I realize that a lot of people, what the devil tries to do in people's lives is to get them to fail. And the issue is not the failure.
It's the mindset.
Failure mindset.
Yeah.
Is to develop a mindset, or to, give them a construct of a mindset that believes they are failures. So that you fail does not mean you're a failure. And this is not aspire to perspire. This is true, right? That you fail or that you have failed in the past does not mean you are a failure. So it means that you can actually might have had a track record of things having failed in your hands before, but over time you have observed it, like you said, you are aware, and you have gone to God. You have done the necessary self and personal development needed. You have read books, you have attended seminars, and let me also say that I was saying something earlier, the power of mentors. A lot of times we downplay the importance of mentors in our journey, not just even spiritual journey alone, even in finances, in our careers, in our professions, whatever it is. People that have gone ahead often are a step ahead for a reason. You can stand on their shoulders to see. They can give you counsel that will spare you 10 years of finding out by experience. Experience is the best teacher, but it doesn't have to be your own experience. You can learn from other people's experiences and then garner the wisdom, and you'll be deep and weighty. So that will be my own take.
Because
we have another dilemma.
Yes.
We can take the second dilemma. But guys, I'd like to also know what your thoughts are, right? You can drop your thoughts on the comment section. I will also be looking out to read your thoughts and your perspectives as we move on. All right.
Question 2. A-Trains, love the show, by the way. You guys always keep it real. Thank you.
That's what we do. Don't mention.
All right. So the question: my babe and I were having a heated argument, and in the middle of it,
I know that there's no how we have two this year and one.
I want the relationship.
All right, please go ahead.
Yeah, my babe and I were having a heated argument, and in the middle of it, she accidentally called me by her ex's name. She apologized immediately and said, she apologized immediately and said it was just a slip of the tongue, but I can't seem to get it out of my head. For context, my dad cheated on my mom, even though they work things out and are still together. I've always been sensitive to anything that feels like disrespect or betrayal. I guess deep down, I don't ever want to feel like my dad.
Wow.
I don't want to be made a fool of and still have to stay. Now I keep overthinking the whole situation. Am I being too sensitive, or is this a red flag?
Honestly, there are a lot of talking points from this. Let me start from this point, right? Many times, because we don't talk a lot about the effect of trauma on people, we don't know the far-reaching effect it has. See, when you have experienced something, especially as a child growing up, it has communicated a possibility. Sometimes the possibility is not that you would do it, it's that you might be a victim of it. So someone like that is naturally defensive. There is always that thought of, okay, what if I end up in this same situation? And that will be the most dreaded situation. So, and those things are there. They are enshrined in the person's subconscious.
Any
so
little
deep
thing
that the slightest thing reminds the person of it, and the person reacts in that way. Now, thank God that when the person called your ex's name is when you were fighting. It could just be a good sign that she and that person used to always fight. It's not like
but it means the name is still in her subconscious.
A nice evening, gisting and
she
stuff, and she now called.
That's what.
Hey, so it means that this moment is reminding you of that person, right? You know, it's crazy, but this is a real life life thing. You know, I can't remember what I saw. I think it was on Twitter. I saw a tweet by someone, one of those tweets that usually go viral and all that. The woman was talking about how that she's married, so her husband, whenever they are having sex, calls. It happened a number of times. He calls her
by
his ex's name, so he's referring to her by his ex's name, and you know, and then like so, you can imagine now that's an extreme case. Now,
no, that's bad.
If that was the case we are handling,
that's red flag,
bro. That's
very red.
Even now, it's not still all that okay, but I think it can it's still manageable. It's understandable, right? And I'll say why. But in that case now, it tells you clearly that number one, this person is still in that man's subconscious. In fact, I began to see, because I said, okay, let me go through comments and see what people's perspective. You know, the comments, sometimes comment is sweet past.
Honestly, past the content
right?
itself.
So I was in the comment section and I was just going through the comments, and I saw people talking about the effect, the psychological effect, how that is a lot of, I'm sorry to say, but a lot of women were complaining that most times, even the men zone off. Sometimes a man and his wife can be probably having sex, and the man is thinking of someone else. Like, that's the only way he can. And I've seen that even when you do, if you do any counseling or psychology course, right, it'll teach you some of these things. And I've come across a few of them. How that some people don't even get aroused by their spouses until they think of someone else. So that's the only way they can be attracted to their spouse. Now,
why did you marry the person in the first place?
This matter we just talked about is a very deep matter. If we might have to, maybe one of these days we'll invite Pastor Mimi to come on the show and just help us talk on this, because this is a very deep matter. What would make a person, I know I'm digressing from the real conversation, but you know, it still goes in line, and we might even be answering someone's heartache, right? What will make a person in the height of that intimacy to
blot out somebody else's name?
That means you are blocked out. It's someone else that is in that experience.
You are not seeing your spouse. You are seeing the name you are calling.
This is what happens when a lot of people. I saw another thing that I don't believe that is true, but I saw it nonetheless. I just saw it. I don't believe it's true, but I saw it. A lady was saying something and she said, maybe I can't remember the statistics, but whether 90 or 60, one of those. I think she said 60 probably. She said, allegedly, I can't guarantee that it's true, that percentage of people, a large percentage, let's say 60% of men, do not marry the women they actually want to marry, or the women they actually really love. They marry the available, or what she was trying to say is this: there's the idol in the man's heart. Of the kind of man, the body he wants to marry.
But there's the character aspect.
She was particularly talking about Christian.
So
there's the idol in the man's heart. There's the kind of shape the woman should have. There's the kind of construct. He wants the body, but he knows that body cannot take care of the home. So he looks out for a good church girl that has good character, at least that they
is
can
homely.
Home caregiver, someone that can take care of his children, cook meals and all that. So he marries her. But to unlock that aspect of him,
you will have to
he
imagine
always zones out in his
else.
mind and is thinking of that person else. So when she put out that statistic, I strongly disagree with it, but I saw it and it got me thinking. Now, that could be one of the reasons why people have this kind of issues. The man has gone to marry what he has married, good woman, and many times these women are beautiful, beautiful woman. But you see, until your eyes are single, your whole body will not be full of light. The moment you begin to look outward, you will not see. I remember there's this video of Apostle. There's this message of Apostle where he was talking about, do you see your wife? Husbands, can you see your wife? Do you see? A lot of men don't see their wife.
And another thing, if you are familiar with something, you tend to, it moves to your subconscious. So you are not really seeing them. You are used to their appearance. So I think that's another. We are doing a lot of side talk, but I think that's another reason why they talk during marriage counseling and everything, where they will talk about taking yourself out on a date, changing your appearance, being conscious of it. Don't let it become like something that's we are married. Let's just move on to let's move on to the next thing.
Actually, so it is important that that kind of situation is a serious matter, because you are just miles away from adultery.
He's even committing adultery already, because the Bible said
Jesus raised the standard. Jesus said if you think on in fact, according to Jesus' standard, you are already in
adultery.
So that kind of person needs therapy in case you find someone in
not just the person, even the wife, because I can't imagine the torment you'll be going through knowing that your wife does your husband does not find you attractive. Your spouse, your partner does not find you attractive. It can be traumatic to now going to the extent of them calling out
someone else's name.
No.
Terrible.
The two of them need
terrible.
They will
Let
need
me read
therapy.
a few comments. Then we'll get back to the real question, because this is not even the question. Right? Mr. Upgrade says, one-way trip, not going back, no plan B. Yes, Mr. Upgrade. Mr. Upgrade also says, but let's also differentiate mentors from tomatoes. This is a whole topic for another day. We'll be back talk on this. Live Talks with Annie says, Ewo. Mr. Upgrade says, the incident has scarred the young man. That mistake is really one that cuts deep. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. True. Live Talks with Annie says, it's trauma. Someone may think they have moved on from the pain or something that happened to them in the past, but an action that triggers painful memories can bring them back to square one. And this is so true. In fact, and going back to this situation, usually, right, let's talk about the lady. What could have made her blurt out her ex's name in the heat of an argument?
Okay, you know one funny thing? This has actually happened to me. Not
really?
Yeah, not ex. So my ex, then we were
zoom in my face. Look at my face. I could have killed a lot of people.
So my ex.
Are you sure everyone has sent this? You know when someone say, is this person single? My friend is asking. Okay.
No, this is actually my friend. Okay. So my ex, then I was in a relationship, so we were just joking around. Why would I have?
Signs of end time. I thought we agreed that this life is we and Jesus.
No, are you not married?
Well, I'm married.
So we were just talking, playing around, and then the thing is, it happens to me a lot. Like I mix people's name.
If I never mix my name. So you explain at times.
So we were just playing. So I wanted to call his name, and then I called my friend's name, Cricket. Like everywhere was silent. I don't want to call his name, but I was just joking around with my boyfriend.
This person that is your friend, the friend, have you had any relationship with the person, like
with my friend? No, but he's my very good friend, like my best friend. But he's a man.
Your best friend?
Yes.
You have male best friend?
Yes. Is it bad?
If he has male bestie. The next topic we are teaching on trends is male bestie. I'll now bring people inside to come.
Yes, please, let's talk about it, because there are a lot of issues around. But he's my friend, very good friend. He's my best friend because he's the closest person to me.
But you had a boyfriend.
But I had a boyfriend. My boyfriend is very close to me. But after my boyfriend is the next closest person to
me. On the standings.
You get it.
The first second.
So then we were just playing around, and then I called out my best friend name. And he knows him actually. he knows him, like we are all close. So I called his name.
My heart.
Everywhere just like we were joking or talking, he just went silent. Like he did not say anything. I was like, no, sorry, I was just joking. He now said, what did you say? Okay, calm down now. He ended the call.
It was on phone.
Yeah, it was on phone, long distance now.
Okay.
So I think that's what even made it worse, because there's issue on ground
And
before.
this person as your bestie is within your.
Yes, we live together,
Hey!
like not inside.
Yeah. It's finished.
Not in the same house, but our rooms. We have a room separating us. Yeah, it was in school now. So our hostel is.
Even if it's me, Ife, yay.
So,
but
it was a mistake. I do even with. Sure, you've never done it before. That you want to call someone.
Allow me to ever do it before.
That you want to call someone. You not call another person's name.
Everybody has their name. If I don't forget, I say man of God. If I can't remember, I say woman of God. Thank God for emoji and WG saves. Because I don't know if I want to share this. But let me say this. Long distance is already a very tricky situation. Everything, you see, no matter how trusting you are, how much trust you have to give, there is only so much you can take without being suspicious in a long distance relationship.
The reason I thought it should be okay with it was because I tried everything to cut out any kind of feeling of jealousy. My best friend is in a relationship, so he has a girlfriend.
I have seen that
Christian brother.
Pastor, I have seen. No, this is human being. Anything is added to the fact that it's first human.
Man before man of God.
It's not man and woman that are married that is to commit adultery. Two married people coming together to commit that. It happens now. So I'm saying that it's not a criteria. You see, if you are going to do a long distance, there are things you must first settle. You must not give reason to question, even if there is nothing. Just for example, now the way you say, I want to believe it because we are on trend. I want to believe that you are a good care. But yeah, so now even though nothing happened between you and that person, you were just platonic friends. There is already the distance he has to deal with. I don't know what's going on with you. There are moments where
we're always talking.
Bro, there are moments where, because we are believers in a relationship, the best you can do is to talk. Probably worst case scenario, hold hands, take a walk. You can't do what the world does.
Yeah.
So there are moments where even as a believer, you feel alone. You wish there was somebody physically there with you. You wish your spouse was physically, even not to do anything, even if it's just to hold the person's hand and just take a walk. Something as innocent as that, right? There are times where you have those feelings, and let's be honest, it happens. Sometimes when you can't have that, sometimes that big-headed best friend, that because they always call them big head or fish. If a lady start calling you fish, bro, you might just have scored. Now, when she call you fish, where are you? And then it's the fish now that is
taking the place, filling the gap.
Void. I know that because I've experienced it before. Right? So once you are doing long distance, you want to ensure that you don't give room for question.
Any
you don't
doubt.
give room for doubt. You don't give room for someone to begin to suspect, okay. And then if you are doing don't distance, you are doing long distance. See, you should not be having an opposite sex bestie. I can't see. Okay, take for example, if we're dating and there's a girl in my vicinity, I call her my bestie. She's in a relationship. I call her my bestie. Even if she's married, there is the what ifs.
What is good?
There's always going to be the what if. No matter how much I trust you, there's the what ifs. I will only just need to be reassuring myself, and you two also need to be reassuring me that nothing is happening.
Going on.
I'll be reassuring you that okay, we are good, and I must put up structures that makes it clear that nothing.
See, that structure is not what I want to talk about, because there's a lot of structure. We went as far as creating a group for ourselves. What is it like? And now, so like you can have a feel that this is like we are building a family. You know, there's family friend. You've not seen it that you call each other family friend. Like, I'm close with the.
It's not family friend that those things happen past.
But those are
Is it
unbelievers
stranger?
now. They don't have the fear of God. We have fear of God.
Don't loud it. Evil believers.
We have fear of God.
I know that we have fear of God, though. But fear of man is also important too, because fear of yourself, then fear of the fellow that is your friend. Now let me say this. What I'm trying to say in essence.
Yeah.
You see, you are a human being. You have proclivities. It's the grace of God keeping us, and then the little discipline that you have learned, and then the structures you have put in place. And I always say, God trusts your discipline. God trusts your structures more than your discipline. The structure you put is more important. If you are doing it, see, I think we had a session on long distance. We should have another one, because there are many sides to a long distance relationship. There's already this strain on physical connection that you try to augment with talking over the phone, video call. Thank God for video calls. I don't know how they did it in those days. Thank God for video calls and the like. You try to augment the absence of the physical being there physically. So if that's there, you now put in a major issue when someone else, after me in my wife's life, there must not be a man.
No male
After
bestie.
Me, if there's going to be anybody, let it be our siblings.
Family.
Then maybe one of our friends.
But what if in a situation where the lady is more comfortable around men? For example, I grew up around men. I have 3 elder brothers. So I'm more used to the way guys
you
think.
are more used to men, right?
Yes,
then
I'm
let
more.
your friends, let your brothers be your besties.
Do you know our age gap?
It doesn't matter.
Wait, what will I be discussing with them?
And then you get, you want a male bestie. Make your boyfriend the bestie.
He's his bestie already now, but there are some.
What do you have to be talking with that one that you cannot talk with this one?
No, okay, wait.
Well,
Okay, what if you already have this friend before the boyfriend comes? Like, you guys are already close before.
This is a real situation. This is a real situation. You had a friend, you guys are close and all that, and then someone comes and becomes your boyfriend. The truth of it is that one of the first things you have to talk about before you start that relationship is, these are the people in my life.
Thank you.
This is this guy. Now, if from the onset he says, I'm good and I'm fine with it, you have to, the onus is now on you to prove to him that this person is nothing more than what I say he is.
Yes.
You must not give room for doubt. He must not see you in a compromising position, or see a text that is unsure.
Yeah, definitely.
Or you showing that you have a place of rest outside him. See, a man marks his territory. A man likes to, if I'm here, I'm here. A human being, even women used to do it. So if I'm here, I'm the owner here. But a man is an alpha, especially if he's an alpha male. I'm the one here. It's not that I'm here and then somebody is helping me as assistant.
Role is different now.
All my counsel, she's giving me back. Because usually, let me say this, can I be very honest with you?
Yes, please.
Most cases where opposite sex are besties, usually one has feelings for the other. It's not, I'm not saying
Yeah,
that's a
like
general
usually.
statement, not a general statement, but I can
Not
tell
all
you
the
that
time.
a big ratio, and I can boldly say like 70% of it, one person likes the other person. It is usually because the other person sees, or the person that likes the other person sees that there might be no hope here. Okay, I will manage just being best friends. Sometimes they like themselves, but don't even know that they like themselves that much until someone else comes to the picture, and then they have to. Have you not seen? I mean, not even movies, so real life. Bro, real life. I'm telling you. Say you are a lady Ife, and you have a male bestie. If you are going to be very honest with yourself, you and him. Let's just be very, forget camera. No, don't worry. These guys are off the camera. They know for if you're going to be very honest with yourself, at some point, one of you had feelings for each other.
What kind of feeling now? Brotherly feeling.
You have
brotherly
anything like brotherly feeling?
There's brotherly feeling.
No
brother
brotherly
in the
feeling.
Lord.
I'm saying that at some point, somebody had feelings in the sense that.
But what if it started from the point of like prayer partner? You know, that's another thing. The friendship is not, it did not come from the sense of friendship. It came from a church setting.
Why are you as a girl having a guy as a prayer partner? Why?
They just said it. I'm more comfortable with a man. I'm more comfortable.
There are other girls too that don't like, they are not comfortable with other girls. Go and look for them. There are girls that are more comfortable with guys. You two, you are more comfortable with guys. Okay, at least we will see each other as guys and we'll be friends.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you, see, the truth of it is that it usually doesn't end well. No longer with that person, so it didn't end well, right? Right? No shade, but I'm just saying that it doesn't end well. And if you cherish that relationship and you really want it to last, you must give your partner premium. Premium means it's not just that he's number one. He's one and only. If I want to be the only man in my wife's life, if that guy should just be there, you see them as rags. No matter how fine they are. Yes. And in the same vein, every woman should look like rag in my eye. And you see my wife not as number one, then Ife is second. No, my wife, every other person is just at best what you are. Maybe colleague, friend, this, nothing more. That is a safe and healthy relationship space.
Please, in the comments, I want to know, do you agree with what he's saying?
You don't agree, Ke?
Or not? Please, ladies, I want to know your
thoughts. Is there anything that Ife has not experienced? Ife, come and answer. He also said there's a way Ife smiles when she's talking about her ex. It's true.
Wait, I can't. Where? I can't see the comment. I can't see it. Where are you reading it from?
Mr. Upgrade. There's a way Ife smiles when she's talking about her ex, and it's true. It's very true. I have seen Ife talk about your ex now. Please, we need to cut this out as an excerpt. He's not talking about her ex. Enjoy. Wherever that ex is, we'll find you, sir. We'll find you.
No.
He says, life in the gift smiley emoji. Ife initiated radio silence with the mention of the name Wahala. Right? If that is an expensive mistake. That is a relationship breaking mistake. You see, even PJs in the comments shouting Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Because me, I don't know.
No, but it happens.
Yes. Big head or fish are the names. I'm telling you. If you have a babe and your babe is calling on that guy big head or fish, bro, take it from me. End the relationship. You are
there's no fish, there's no big head. It's brother in the Lord.
Fish.
No fish, no big head. Brother in the Lord.
Worst.
Bro.
Worst.
Bro Shegun, bro Damilare, bro Jesu Tofumi, bro Michael,
Christian sister,
bro Gabriel.
When they're cooking some evil, that's how they sound. Right? Live talks to Annie says, okay, Margaret, I wouldn't forget your comments. At this point, you tell you are alone. Thank you. Finally.
Yes, of course, there's boundaries.
But there should be boundaries. But
yes, definitely.
Who's a best friend? Nope.
Where's the nope? I can't see
it. Your partner is your only best friend.
Yeah.
Your partner is your only male best friend for peace and justice. Because
yes, of course, he's my best friend, but he's my closest friend when we are talking about friend. Do you understand? Like, is your okay? For example, guy. Let's not talk about female. You have male friend, but there's one that is closest to you.
Amongst the male friends.
Amongst the male friend. So that's what I'm saying. Your partner is your partner, is your all in all, is your babe, is your my everything. But you have friends, you have colleagues, you have like in category at your place of work. You have friends.
Yes.
In church you have friends. Amidst all of those friends, there will be someone you are closest to.
Of the opposite sex.
Opposite and same sex. There will be someone you are closest to. So that's what I'm trying to say. So your partner is still your closest friend.
It's just
but the other friends you have, there's still someone.
We are not disputing the idea of best
Thank
friends.
you.
The idea is that you should not have the opposite sex as your best friend. You should not have a best friend from the opposite sex. You should not. It's recipe for disaster.
Okay.
And I agree. I believe that PJ
we'll have to do another episode on this.
Yes, sir.
Male best friend.
What do you think?
Yes or no?
Israel Hosanna is in the comments and he said, "It seems some of us will stay single for a long time."
Thank you. Finally, I have Abi. What? Wait, let me understand.
Let's understand you because it's
let me understand the perspective you are talking from.
Overcomer says, "Look at this powerful comment from Overcomer. Proximity breeds feelings." And if you're going to be honest, I know that you will not just be honest. If you'll be honest, I have fear of God. There's definitely been a time when you felt, maybe for a day, and you shook it off. But there's definitely been a time when you felt something more than just friendship, that friendly feeling for that person. Maybe it was at your down moment. Maybe at a point where you were sad and this person said the right things. Maybe it was not you. Maybe it was him that felt that way when he was, maybe his relationship was not going well, but you were mirroring the kind of thing he wants in a relationship. I know what this is.
No, that's
bro.
Okay, we'll do another.
Really, there are a lot of people learning here. There might be people in dilemmas like this and need clarity on this kind of subject. And I would say that what we would do, probably what we'll have to just do, is that we would find a way to have a session.
Yes.
On one of our episodes, we'll just talk about this male bestie thing, and I believe we'll have a guest so that it would not be.
Maybe this Mr. Israel. I think you are Israel? Because he seems he's on my side. So please.
So we're definitely gonna have a long and extensive conversation around this. The pros, the cons, how far is too far. Should even exist in the first place, and all of that. We'll get into all of that conversation. Temitope Ademi says some sisters have male prayer partners that are confident that can qualify as besties. That they have it does not mean it's safe.
Thank you.
Listen.
Thank you so much. I don't know if you're a woman, if you're a man. Thank you very much.
Okay, too late. But I would say this, right? That a person has a male or opposite sex prayer partner that is also a confidant, that does not mean it's even right. Ideally it should not be a problem, but we are talking from what we have seen. It's just like someone
but it doesn't make, I understand that it happens, but it doesn't make it the same for everybody.
Now here's the thing,
you should be able to trust your partner. That is just being on.
Because the truth of it is, because we are speaking, we are advocating. We must advocate for what is safe. So if we are going to have this conversation, my advocacy would be that it is not safe to have an opposite sex as your best friend, especially when you are in a relationship or you're married.
Married, definitely.
So what's the difference between relationship and marriage?
And you know one funny thing.
What's the difference between relationship and marriage?
No, wait. One funny thing is, in fact, let me.
No, say the funny
thing. I will laugh inside. I'm not saying it.
Okay, look at this comment from Life Talks with Annie. Said this is not a lie. There's definitely a time I felt something more than friendship with a male best friend. Plus, he was in a relationship too. I had to pull out. This is honest truth.
But we are not all like this.
See, let me tell you. Okay, now you have made me. I will spill the bean.
Oh yeah.
I at some point, right? I can't remember what year was that now. I had a lady around me. She was my friend. She was what I call my best friend. And the truth of it is that we were both in a relationship at the time, or we became besties. We were inseparable. It started out platonic. In fact, the thought of anything would never cross my mind. It felt irritating. But when I got into a relationship, when we both got into a relationship, relationship flaws here and there, something were not done right and all that. So I felt like I wanted more in a relationship. And this person, that's my best friend, seemed to embody what I wanted. Sometimes I felt, why am I not even dating this person? Little did I know that she also felt the same way. Now, it no end way. Just take it from me. So this is an elder. An elder giving
from the past. From experience.
Being very honest, right? The truth of it is you are human. You're going to, even for someone that is not even your bestie, just someone that is just your friend. If the person happens to be there at your most vulnerable moment, if care is not taken, if you don't have discipline, if you don't have structure, if you don't have self-control and the help of God, you can even land in problems, you can land in trouble, you can do something that you wish you never did. I'm saying that's why we have structures, and one of the structure is thou shalt not have an opposite sex bestie. Of course, now the world is getting terrible that even same sex now is wahala too. But let's first deal with this matter on ground. That's why it's on that matter for another day. It really is not safe because you cannot deny the fact that maybe not always, but it will definitely happen at some point where you would have sinister feelings. You have weird feelings toward that person. I'm telling you. Except you want to go and your best friend will now look like orangutan or something like. When you look at the best friend, you can never be attracted. But worse is now when you are now friends with a very fine person. Person might not even be physically beautiful or fine, but the person might have
mental connection.
You know, if your love language is words of affirmation, and you are best friends with someone that is a deep person that talks well. Now, this is another thing around exes. Why exes never go away? Sometimes you are a deep person and your ex was a deep person, and that there's a depth you went to in your conversations, in your time shared together. It was a deep relationship. When that relationship ends, if you meet someone that is beautiful but shallow, you will like the person's outward, but the person cannot relate to your core.
Yeah, cannot feel the
your
gap.
ex will linger in your heart
mind
for
a
eons.
long time.
And it's not because you even still like the ex, but the person is deep. That person took you to a depth in your relationship. You went to a depth of conversation. You know, that person could see you and could understand your depth, could understand that you are not feeling for him, if you're not happy even though you're smiling. It's a deep person. So when you date a deep person, pray that you marry the person. Because you know what, oh boy, God is your friend. I'm telling you. Okay, we still have a number of comments in the comments. I'll just read through as we go on. Someone says, looking forward to the male bestie episode. Yes, it's coming up. And it's the first phase on that stuff. Big one. Life Talks with Annie says, this is not a okay, I think I've read this before. And the topic says, Life Talks with Annie, this is what Nakale is saying. Thank you for recording.
Where is that my supporter? Temi Tokwe, please drop another comment.
Justice to reign. No male bestie for peace and justice to reign. I agree 100%. Someone said, that is mental, bro. Brother in the Lord. The conclusion of the matter is to have no male bestie for girls and no female bestie for guys. Mental sobriety, Kai. Mental connection can be an unseen glue. You know, I always say this, that we talk about spec, and when we say this person is my spec, we think about money, we think about appearance, physical appearance, think about tribe, think about height, color, skin, build, six-pack, fat, chubby, slim. But there's a spec that superimposes over all of this, that rises above, that is more important, which is the mental spec. Because at the end of the day, especially when you're a believer, thank God for the shape. Thank God for the six packs. Thank God for the height. Thank God for the lips. Like for people like Ife that thank God for the lips. Thank God for whatever it is. And allow your mind to go wild. Whatever it is you think that you see and you like, that men or women like in the opposite, whatever it is, thank God for it. But especially as a believer, before you get married, a bulk of what you'll be doing is talk.
Yeah.
If this person is not your mental spec, bro, you will be the only thing that will make you to go ahead to marry this person is the lust of your heart. Because you just you can't let I'm seeing it's figure 8, I can't let it go, right? But you know that on a mental level you're not clicking. Mental spec for me, I believe, is one of the highest. This is the reason why you see some not very well good looking men marry some of the most beautiful ladies. You wonder how did she end up with this guy, bro? Allow this guy talk. When I was in school when I was in school, there's this guy. I won't call his name for. He was someone I looked up to. He was my classmate. Of course, later I got to find out that he was also looking up to me. But I was shocked when he said. I was flabbergasted. In fact, I felt flattered when he said that. But I was really looking up to him. That how can this guy? He was an excellent speaker, and as a public speaker, I've been doing public speaking right from my secondary school, right? So as a public speaker, he excelled at it effortlessly. He was that kind of person that would wow the audience with his command of English, with his right words. He understood communication at another level, something that was not normal for a secondary school student. So, this guy, his girlfriend, she was also our classmate. He was legit. This guy is not fine. I tell you. Now nobody's not fine. But honestly, then the boy was not fine. He had very scattered teeth. He was not fine. But if he talks, bro, even you as a guy will be like, shit, this guy will talk. We are just in JSS2. You should not be this wise. We're just in JSS1. You should not be this intelligent, bro. So that was how it was. I'm telling you, this guy was dating the finest girl in our class. I almost mentioned her name now, but I'm not mentioning it. If I show you this girl's picture, even her throwback is still fine. You know, there are people that you see throwback, I'm like,
thank God for now.
No, this person, her throwback is still fine. Some people will still fall for her throwback. Like, that's how fine she is. They were dating. And I said, this is not face. It's not face. Because definitely we had more finer boys that were not... Sorry to say it then. So from there, that was when I understood that, see, this thing called mental spec. And I shared my story how I met a lady one time, and then I was blown away by the depth that we could share, because it was unlike what I was used to. So I'm saying that there's a place for mental spec. We don't say it a lot, but it exists. It doesn't mean that it exists. In fact, the main reason why people have problems in their marriages or in their
most common, yeah.
Funny
thing, we've not even answered the question.
We have not.
We have not.
Let me just answer it now, because we have spent our time so fast spent. But read the question again.
Oh, okay. I think essentially what he's saying is it a red flag? Okay? The babe called out the ex name during an argument. So, and he has trauma from past relationship. So, is that a red flag, or is he being too sensitive?
First of all, my advice to him will be to heal, to go for healing. You should not be in a relationship and then eventually even marriage when you are not healed. Because if you are not healed, you will bleed on those that did not cut you. Right? If by virtue of a childhood you have gone through certain things, trauma, and there's the PTSD of that experience that has given you a posture where you feel like you are going to be a victim of that anytime soon. So everything complicates that. And an honest mistake, it could be honest. Like I said, it was in the heat of argument. So like I said, it's even a plus. So it's not like, it was a good time, then the lady mentioned, it was in the heat of argument. It was an unpleasant situation. She called the person's name. And then how did she take it? It can just be an honest slip of tongue. But the reason, how long ago did she break up with that person? Is she in communication with that person? Because for me to, if I'm going to make a mistake and call my wife Ife, it's probably because I work with Ife every day.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Ife.
That's true.
There's the muscle memory.
Yes.
So maybe in the heat of it, I wanted to just
exactly what happened. Continue.
Anyways, so in that situation, if that's what the case is, it's understandable. But if it is that they had broken up 2 years ago, and then she still birthed out his name, sometimes it's okay to take a break in a relationship. Everybody go and figure yourself out. Bro, have you moved on from this person? Have an honest conversation. Why will this person's name come up in this relationship? It can be a red flag, but it's not a total red flag, as it were. Have a conversation. If this person is unwilling to, to accept that was a mistake and all that, if the person is saying that, oh, okay, I don't even know why the person's name comes up, let the person really, really go through therapy. Have you moved on from this person? And let me say this, in relationship, it's okay to take a break. Everybody want to be fine and come back. It's, in fact, a broken relationship is better than a broken home.
Marriage, yeah.
End it. Everybody go and seek help and be good, right? Seek help, really, and be good. The brother, you go to counseling and be healed from that trauma. Sister, you get over your ex. Because these are two wrongs meeting. We cannot raise one above the other. We cannot glorify one over the other. We cannot make one the victim and one the victor or whatever, right? Because both of them have their wrongs to it. You shouldn't have mentioned, but it's a mistake. People make mistakes. But he too shouldn't read meaning to everything. But then it is reality.
Another red flag that I'm looking at is the heated argument thing. Heated argument is like a step higher than, because for him to specify that we were having a heated argument.
Yes.
So that means the argument was really, really serious. So if you are, that means maybe they have other issues in the relationship.
If that is investigating their relationship, I mean, people have heated arguments. In fact,
but arguments understandable, but heated arguments
can just be that it was really, really draggy. Heated argument does not mean that they punch anybody.
No, yes, of course. I know.
I saw a video. I don't know if anybody has seen that video. where they talked about abusive boyfriend preparing to play. The first one, the guy was putting toothpaste on his hand, and he said abusive boyfriend about to brush the teeth. The second one, he was putting dumbbell inside pillowcase.
Oh yeah, now
abusive boyfriend about to play pillow fight. And I'm like, bro, are you about so it might not have been like a violent stuff.
Yeah, definitely. No, I was even thinking about
linger, and then it gets to the point where people are exchanging, talking back and forth. It happens. It ought not to. And with mental, with emotional.
But is it right? Is that is that a right way to express? Should I say emotions? Like having arguments. Is it not better to just put a pause, because you might blot out some things? For example, what happened in the heat of the moment. So when you see something is rising to a particular level, is it not advisable for everybody to be like, okay, let's just peg this?
It ought to be. It's wisdom to when matters are beginning to escalate. In fact, I believe that everybody should have rules going into any relationship. Like, for example, I remember when we were going to start dating, myself and my wife, we agreed that we're not going to yell at each other. And as God will have it, till now we have never raised our voice at each other. Have we had arguments? Yes. Have we had disagreements? Yes. But we settle it amicably. There's no point when. So the thing is, when people shout at each other, it's simply both of them saying, "I want to talk, hear me."
Yeah.
So everybody raising their voice to outshine the other person's volume. So this is simple. If the issue here is to hear, let's be quiet. I'll be quiet. Talk. Then I'll talk my own. Talk your own. I'll talk my own.
I talk my own.
Everybody's fine. We can settle the whole thing. So I'll just say, as we get to bring it to a wrap, that if you're laughing at your phone,
Mr. Upgrade said it's not red flag but burgundy flag.
It's somewhere in between. Yeah. So because I will just say this in conclusion, right? I feel like they both need time apart. Clearly, I can deduce that both of them still have baggages they are dealing with. The guy still have trauma he's dealing with, and trauma is not a death sentence, but you need to heal so that you don't bleed on who did not cut you. And then the lady,
that's how the ex used to yell on her.
Exactly.
Or at her.
And then for the lady too, she needs to also really introspect and be honest with yourself. Remember, I said on one of our episodes that one of the first ways to move on from your ex is to agree that you have not moved on from them when you have not. If you have not moved on, agreed. You must be honest with yourself. That's the first way to healing. So if she can be honest with herself, maybe I've not moved on from this guy, because for this guy's name to still be in my head, it's either I'm always on his Instagram or something
or I'm traumatized by the past relationship with
exactly
him.
Or I'm in constant communication with him, which is not right. So you want to check that, and you want to be sure that is sorted. So from my end, I think that's my that's my 2 cents.
That's what I would say also. They both need to heal. The lady needs to heal from the past relationship.
Yes.
What I'm deducing, what I'm seeing
In the spirit.
in my own spirit, not this, that it's possible that the lady too was in an abusive relationship. Because why is it that it's at the moment of argument that she's calling you
maybe
by
that situation reminded her of him,
exactly. So
True.
the two of them need to heal.
Yes, the therapy.
The man
and
needs
I think
to.
we must normalize therapy. We should normalize therapy, both spiritual and we should normalize therapy.
There's nothing wrong with going for therapy if you need it. And last comment here, Mr. Upgrade said there are people who shut down when they are yelled at or shouted at. Exactly.
You raise your hand.
Yes, I don't like it. Not even being any sudden noise. I don't like it.
Hey!
No.
I said let me test it without you freeze. Okay. But that's true actually. I mean, it's been an amazing conversation, right?
Yeah.
I get very fulfilled anytime we get to have these dilemma sessions, because I know that we're dealing with real life issues, and we're bringing perspective and answers to people's questions, and probably even helping someone with real life interpretation of their seasons. And so for us, it's something that we hold very dear. And if you like to, send out one of you have a dilemma, you have a question, whatever it is, you like us to feature one of your own thoughts or questions on our next episode as the dilemma, do well to write to us. You can just, like I said, we are TV_redefined on IG. You can just drop us a DM on IG, or you can, on the description, there is a link to, there's a number there. You can reach out to us via that number, or WhatsApp and via calls, however you want to reach out to us. Or you can drop a comment in the comment section, right? You can just leave a comment and we do well to extract your questions from there.
And lastly, before we do final, in the last episode, I said we're going to ask another question today to determine the winner of our giveaway. So I'll just take the question now. You can, I think our media will pop up the graphics for where to drop your answer. So I'll take the question now.
Drum rolls.
What's one oh my phone just died. So what's one unforgettable topic on trend, and why is it unforgettable for you?
What was that one unforgettable topic we
treated on trends,
and why was it for you? So the number to send the answer to is being displayed on the screen. I'll just read it out: 0707 in case you're outside Nigeria, +234 707 008 0217 +234 070 008 0217. Of course, I'm not doing voiceover yet. So it's giveaway time. We'll be waiting to get, it's fastest fingers first. So you want to rush.
Very important. The first person to send in the answer.
So send in, and we'd like to hear from you. And also, this will also even serve as a survey for us to know what is really blessing you guys. From all of us here, it's been super amazing. As we let the people go, I want you to just say something to them. We've talked on a lot of things, standards, boundaries, and all that, even though you still agree that bestie.
Yes, we are having a rematch.
but really, you have final thoughts.
Final thoughts. From the start, I think we've already concluded on standards.
Yes.
It's okay to have your own personal standard. It's your own personal one. You just have to make sure that it's nothing extreme. It's something exactly. It's something that it's doable, and it's something that is actually necessary, not the things that you can overlook. And the job person, we've already sorted that. The lady, go for healing. And also, anyone, if you are going through anything, please don't keep it in.
Yes.
Reach out to, like Pastor Nakale said, what did you say? Therapy. Therapy is not a sin.
Yes.
Reach out to someone. Is this right? It depends on the church you are going to. So you have to know the kind of pastor you have. If you know that your pastor is not someone you can walk up to talk to them about.
Sorry to cut you. The thing with therapy is that it doesn't even have to just be religious therapy. In fact, there are therapists, people that are skilled at it, because there's a lot of psychological implication of it. However, thank God for churches that have infused that into their own curriculum. Yes. But there are churches that don't, and it's okay for you to go to a secular
Thank you. And even there are some churches that they have the kind of counselor, but they are not trained. They are just going about it from the spiritual aspect without the necessary training. So if you notice that you are in that kind of place, please, it's not a sin to seek help outside. So your God needs you alive. You are not useful to him, dead. So seek help, your purpose. We need you alive, we need you, and all of that. So
thank you so much, Ife. I mean, it's so good. Every time I get to put Ife on the spot, like I get to unravel many mysteries about Ife. You guys are shocked. I believe you are as shocked as I am. I mean, it's been an amazing conversation. And on final note, I will just say, if you are not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're missing out on a lot. We are on our way to 11K, and I think we're just a little under 11K.
Very little.
Share the word, spread the word. Let's have as many people join so we can cross the 11K mark, and then it's route to 12K and to 100K to 1 million.
And don't forget to check out the fathers.
1 million subscribers.
Don't forget to check out the father special.
Don't forget, honestly, if you have any man in your life, whether your
send
bestie
it to them,
or your man, your father, your brother, please share that link to them. And then if you're a man watching this, you should see that. Episode.
Please do.
Solid stuff. And share. We don't celebrate men enough, and I think we should imbibe it. and it's been an amazing time. Thank you. Do well to follow us on social media. On Instagram, we are TV_redefined. TV redefined. We're trying to build, we had a couple of Instagram pages that got pulled down, but now we have a stable one, and we're building, and we want you to join us on this journey.
Yeah. All and right. Our TikTok, Ambience TV.
Ambience TV on TikTok. On YouTube, of course, Ambience TV. So do well to follow us across all social media platforms. We'll come again your way on Wednesday by 2:30 p.m. You don't want to miss it. And of course, we'll be having a guest with us here where we can now have a fluid conversation. It's not partiality. We now know who is who, right? And so I'm looking forward to have you guys join us that day. Mark your calendars. That's the more reason why you should click the notification bell. The moment we're live, you get a notification, and then you can click and join it. All right, so we'll come away again next time. Keep it up. We love you. See you later. Bye.
The life of a man is sacrificial. Take it anywhere.
That's deep.
The life of a man is grossly sacrificial.
That's deep.
So it's difficult to live for yourself. In fact, I remember one of those days when I was having my premarital counseling. One advice stood out for me. He looked me in the eyes and said that he would always advise any man who is about to get married to, first of all, before you get married, he said, go and buy clothes, because once you're married,
no more.
And the truth of the matter is, before you see me buy anything new, it's my babe that is getting it for me now. Like, it's difficult for me to take out money. It's not like I don't have it, but if I want to do one or two things, I would have to think about every other household need. You understand? So,
in a world that moves fast, the past still pulls strings, and beneath every headline is a century-old story begging to be told. From ancient thrones to modern trade wars, from forgotten revolutions to viral culture, we connect the dots others ignore, because to understand the now, you must first uncover the why. Ambience TV presents